I stared at the email notification glowing on my phone screen, a slight smile playing at my lips. Another desperate message from my father's company, Anderson Global Technologies, their third this week. The subject line was always different, but the underlying message remained the same. They needed my help. My name is Emma Anderson, and 10 years ago, my parents made what they thought was a simple choice. They chose my twin brother, Ethan, to inherit the family business. After all, he was the natural leader, the one with the real business sense. I was just the quiet twin who spent too much time analyzing market trends and studying emerging technologies. Ms. Anderson. My assistant's voice pulled me from my thoughts. The quarterly earnings report is ready for your review, and Google's acquisition team sent over the updated proposal. I nodded, turning away from the floor-to-ceiling windows of my corner office. The Seattle skyline sparkled beneath the morning sun, a far cry from the small garage where I'd started my company 5 years ago. Thanks, Alice. Just leave them on my desk. I picked up my father's email again, reading it more carefully this time. Emma, we need to discuss a potential strategic partnership. Anderson Global's board believes a merger between our companies could create significant synergies. Please call me at your earliest convenience. Dad, strategic partnership. I almost laughed. That's what they were calling it now. 6 months ago, it had been market collaboration. Before that, joint venture opportunities. They were running out of euphemisms for what they really wanted, a bailout. My phone buzzed again. This time it was my mother. Emma, darling, her voice carried that familiar mix of authority and manipulation. Did you get your father's email? We should really discuss this as a family. I closed my eyes, memories flooding back. The family dinner 10 years ago when they'd announced their decision. The way they framed it as if they were doing me a favor. Ethan has the natural leadership qualities the company needs, my father had declared, swirling his expensive scotch. He understands people, knows how to command a room. You're too analytical. Emma. Too focused on the technical details. That's not what a CEO needs to be. My mother had reached across the table, patting my hand with well-practiced sympathy. Besides, sweetheart, you've always been more comfortable behind the scenes. This way, you can support your brother without all the pressure of running the company. I remembered Ethan's smug smile, the way he'd straightened his shoulders, already practicing his executive posture. Don't worry, sis. I'll make sure there's always a place for you in the company. That night, I'd gone home to my apartment and cried, not from sadness, but from pure, burning frustration. They'd never seen me, never really understood what I was capable of. To them, I was just the quiet twin, the careful one, the one who didn't fit their image of a business leader. Emma, my mother's voice brought me back to the present. Are you there? Yes, Mom. I got the email. I kept my voice neutral, professional, but any potential partnership would need to go through proper channels. Have your team contact our corporate development office. Oh, Emma, she sighed. Why do you always have to make things so formal? We're family. Family. The word hit differently now. Yes, we are. And 10 years ago, our family made a very clear decision about leadership. I'm just honoring that decision. You're still holding on to that. Sweetheart, we did what we thought was best. And look at you now, you've done so well for yourself with your little tech company. My little tech company that was now worth $4.2 billion. Anderson Global's market cap had dropped to less than half that under Ethan's leadership. Mom, I need to go. I have a board meeting in 10 minutes. It wasn't true, but she didn't need to know that. Just think about it, please. Your brother's having a hard time. The market conditions, the new competitors. It's been challenging. I ended the call, turning back to the window. Challenging didn't begin to describe Ethan's situation. Under his leadership, Anderson Global had missed every major tech trend of the last decade. While they were still pushing outdated enterprise software, I built Nova Technologies into a leader in artificial intelligence and machine learning. The irony wasn't lost on me. The technical details they dismissed as a weakness had become my greatest strength. While Ethan was perfecting his executive image, I was studying the technologies that would reshape the industry. My intercom buzzed. Ms. Anderson, the team from Tesla is here for the partnership discussion. I straightened my blazer, pushing thoughts of family drama aside. Send them in. As I walked to the conference room, I passed the wall of achievements that lined our main hallway. Industry awards, patent certificates, magazine covers featuring my face. The queen of AI. Tech's rising star. 30 under 30. Each one a quiet rebuttal to those who'd underestimated me. But the most satisfying article was the most recent one. Anderson Global struggles as Nova Technology soars. The subtitle was particularly sweet. Twin CEOs, Divergent Paths. The Tesla executives rose as I entered the room, eager to discuss implementing Nova's AI systems in their next generation of vehicles. This was what real business leadership looked like, not commanding a room with charisma, but creating something so valuable that the room came to you. My phone buzzed one more time. A text from Ethan. Come on, Em. Help me out here. For old time's sake. I put the phone away without responding. Old time's sake. The old times were exactly why I'd built Nova Technologies. Every dismissal, every underestimation, every patronizing pat on the head have fueled my determination. They'd chosen their CEO 10 years ago. Now it was time for them to live with that choice. But as I began my presentation to the Tesla team, I couldn't help but smile slightly, because the best part? This was just the beginning. Anderson Global's desperation for a merger was about to teach my family a very expensive lesson about underestimating the quiet twin. The weekly executive meeting at Nova Technologies had just wrapped up when Alice appeared at my door again. Your brother's here. I looked up from my laptop surprised. Ethan had never visited my office before. His pride wouldn't allow it. He doesn't have an appointment. He says it's urgent, family business. Alice's tone carried a hint of disapproval. She'd been with me since the early days, working late nights in that garage as we built Nova from scratch. She knew our family history. I sighed, closing my laptop. Send him in. Ethan strode into my office like he owned it, the same way he walked everywhere. But something was different. His designer suit couldn't hide the tension in his shoulders, the slight shadows under his eyes. Running Anderson Global into the ground was finally taking its toll. Nice view, he said, gesturing to the Seattle skyline. Much better than that garage you started in. Remember when Dad said you were wasting your time? I remember everything, Ethan. I kept my voice neutral. What do you want? He turned to face me, and for a moment, I saw a flicker of the brother I'd grown up with. Before the competition, before the bitterness. We need to talk about the merger. There is no merger discussion. I already told Mom. Our stock dropped another 15% yesterday, he cut in. The board is talking about replacing me. I leaned back in my chair. And this concerns Nova Technologies how? Come on, Em. He ran a hand through his perfectly styled hair. You know exactly how your AI systems could transform our business. Together, we could. Together. I couldn't help but laugh. Now you want to work together. Where was this collaborative spirit 10 years ago? His face hardened. That's not fair. I didn't ask for them to choose me. No, but you didn't exactly protest, did you? I stood up, walking to the window. You were so sure you were the right choice. The natural leader. How's that working out? Is that what this is about? Revenge? He stepped closer. You built all this just to prove a point. I turned to face him. I built this because I saw where the industry was going while you were busy playing CEO. I built this because every time you and Dad dismissed my technical details as irrelevant, I knew you were wrong. Fine, you were right. His composure cracked. Is that what you want to hear? You're the better CEO. You won. But there are 5,000 people who depend on Anderson Global for their livelihood. Are you going to punish them just to spite me? That hit home. He knew it would. He was my twin after all. We'd grown up learning each other's weak spots. Those people deserve better leadership, I said quietly, and you know it. Ethan slumped into one of my visitor chairs. The board's giving me 1 month to turn things around. After that, he looked up at me. Help me, Em. Please. Not for me, but for Dad's legacy. I walked back to my desk, pressing the intercom. Alice, please bring in the Horizon folder. Ethan straightened. What's that? 6 months ago, I had our strategy team prepare a complete analysis of what acquiring Anderson Global would look like. I took the folder from Alice. Not a merger. An acquisition. His face paled. You've been planning this? I've been preparing for it. There's a difference. I slid the folder across the desk. Page 12 outlines the leadership transition plan. Page 15 details the technology integration roadmap. He opened the folder with shaking hands. You want to fire me? I want to fix what you broke. I sat down again. The board gets what they want, new leadership. The employees keep their jobs. The company survives, but not as equals, Ethan. Nova acquires Anderson Global at current market value, and I become CEO of both companies. Dad will never agree to this. Dad's not the majority shareholder anymore. You've been diluting family ownership for years to keep the company afloat. I pointed to page 3. We've been quietly buying those shares through subsidiaries. Ethan stared at me, realization dawning. How long have you been planning this? Since the day they chose you. The words came out before I could stop them. He closed the folder slowly. I'll need time to review this with the board. You have 48 hours. I picked up my phone, signaling the end of the meeting. After that, we go hostile. And trust me, he don't want that. He stood up, straightening his tie, a nervous habit from childhood. You've changed, Em. No, I haven't. That's what none of you ever understood. I met his gaze steadily. I was always this person, you just couldn't see it. After he left, I sat in silence for a long moment. Then I picked up my phone and dialed a familiar number. Alice? Schedule a dinner reservation for tonight. 4 people. I paused. And contact our PR team. Tell them to be ready by tomorrow afternoon. It was time to have one last family dinner, but this time, I would be the one making the announcements. Sometimes the quiet twin speaks the loudest.